a famous conductor at the London Philharmonic, 85 years old, deaf, blind and going deaf, but otherwise healthy, went with his wife, who was 74, and in excruciating pain in the final stages of dying from cancer, to Switzerland, where a clinic, a legal clinic there, I think it's called Terminus, I'd have to track that back down, let them die together at the same time in the same room. Drink an overdose of barbiturates, go to sleep, and never wake up. Should it be legal? Should it be criminal? Why is the government in the business of our dying? We've certainly been talking a lot about our living. In fact, in the next hour, we're going to be talking about health care. What about the government in the business of our dying? Mark in Dallas, Texas. Hey, Mark, what's on your mind?
How are you? I'm thinking of Terry Schiavo right now.
Yep.
Because, you know, the president, George Bush, couldn't go out and meet Cindy Sheehan at the end of his driveway about the death of her son. But he got in the plane and he flew to Washington to interfere with this very personal family matter.
Yes.
And then, you know, here we are trying to get health insurance so more people who don't want to die can, you know, maybe be saved by a medical procedure or medication, and then they stand in the way of that, but then they get all upset about us wanting a choice at the end of our lives. You know, this is a pro-choice thing with me also, because it's my life. Keep your religious views off my body.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Very well said, Mark. Thank you. Carol in Portland, Oregon. Hey, Carol.
Hello. I have some first-hand experience with end-of-life pain and with the Death with Dignity law. I nursed my daughter through, breast cancer, metastasized to bone cancer, which is incredibly, horrifically painful.
Yes.
And the doctor who was on your show earlier, she kind of glibly stated that all pain can be controlled. Well, that isn't true.
Yeah,
and,
I know it's not, and I'm sure she knows it's not.
And my daughter suffered horribly when she was with hospice. When they came to bathe her, it was extremely, it was awful. Well, we had gone through, she was with hospice. They could no longer treat the cancer. We couldn't even get her, she could no longer walk. We couldn't get her in to the hospital, of course. So we had applied for the Death with Dignity. She wanted to do this. And another thing the doctor thought as if there was almost no doctors who would do this. Well, my daughter's doctor, a very compassionate man, agreed to do it. He cared about her. He agreed to do it. Mm-hmm. Well, we had gotten to the point where it was almost the time had passed, the waiting period had passed, to get the actual medication, and she passed away. Mm. So just wanted to say that pain can't always be controlled, and suicide and assisted suicide was a good thing. We also found a pharmacy. It was we didn't have a hard time finding compassionate pharmacy and doctor.
Well, I'm glad to hear that it is available in Oregon. I'm very sorry to hear about the pain and death that your daughter experienced. And Carol, thank you for sharing your story with us.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for the call. Darlene in Bremerton. Welcome, Darlene.
Oh, hello, Tom. It's nice talking to you. I've listened to you for so many years, and this is the first time I've ever called. But when I heard the priest talk to you this morning, I just about came unglued, because I was raised Catholic.
Well, this isn't just a Catholic issue. Virtually all Protestant denominations and most of the major religions agree with him.
Right. But I believe in assisted suicide. Mm-hmm. I truly do. And it's like the other person that said on. It's a personal choice. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's also because of the expense. My dad died 5 years ago, and I became his primary caregiver, because if to get into a medical facility, you had to have no more than $2,000 under Medicare. You had to have less than $2,000 worth of
Yeah, that's the real death tax. Is they require
Yes,
you in order to get services, you have to make yourself destitute. You have to give all your money away to the healthcare industry so that they can then lobby Congress against all of our best interests.
That's right. And so I took 6 months out of my life and I went and lived with him.
Yeah.
And I cared for him.
This is what
when he was 94 years old.
Yeah. Well, good on you, darling. This is what and thank you for the call. This is what my brother did with my mother, and God bless him for it. Spike in Pocono, Pennsylvania. Hey, Spike.
Hey, Gonzo, greetings. Long time no speak.
Thank you.
The caller, not the one just before me, but the one previous, she basically really hit the nail on the head why we should support something like this. My father, in February, just a little over 4 weeks after his 59th birthday, passed away quickly, luckily, from liver cancer. I mean, as of New Year's, he was pretty healthy, and in mid-January he got sick, and quickly it just took the turn for worse, jaundice. And they couldn't give him painkillers because of his cancer.
Right.
So he was in a lot of pain in those final days. And to be honest with you, I mean, there's also the aspect, a lot of suffering is being caused by our for-profit healthcare industry. I mean, it was the for-profit bureaucrats who fought him getting a lot of treatment early on that might have saved a lot of these problems.
Sure. Yeah, if he had been detected early, he could have gotten a liver transplant or something like that.
Precisely. I mean, when he had hepatitis, they fought him over his hepatitis treatments. So, I mean, there's so many things wrong with our healthcare system. I'm just tired of people trying to, especially the person that made the comparison, the religious person about the animals. We have a dog that's epileptic, he's diabetic, he's going blind, and he has an enlarged liver. Guess what? We didn't put him to sleep. You know, we don't support this because we just want to get problems out of the way.
Yeah.
But I mean, certainly, once someone starts suffering, it would be inhumane to let them suffer.
Yeah. If you're talking about letting them, that would be euthanasia. But if somebody wants to go, I think that they should be able to go. Spike, thanks a lot for the call, and thanks for listening to us there. Coming up next, what I want to know is, why is the government standing between me and my doctor by forcing insurance on me? Right back after this.